Now let's do something slightly different. We will use this data set here to create a map. The first thing we need to do is to extract the data in order to create a spreadsheet. So I did it already to make things easier. So that's the end result. And that's the first result I got. And I will post this Google Sheets document on the course website so that you can see my formulas and play around. So here I have a list of businesses and their full address. The issue is that the businesses and the addresses don't match. And the way I imported the data is that I created those import XML formulas. Again, use this spreadsheet if you want to poke and explore. I will put the link on the course website. And I discovered that, they didn't line up. What's the issue? Well, I discovered that if I were to click on reorganize the data from A to Z, so alphabetically, so I will sort my data, and the URL has changed. There is now this $O equals alpha filter that was kind of tagged onto the URL. So that's what I did here. And you can see that there is this symbol here which modified the URL, and now pretty much everything lines up. I checked it, and those addresses tend to line up. A few things though. Using the city, province, and postal code individually allowed me to make sure that I didn't have addresses that looked weird, such as here where Ottawa, Ontario, and the postal code are merged together. So I decided to import city, province, and postal code individually by using span with the class address city, the span with the item prop address region, and so on. One thing though, this hotel, although a member, and I should have explained that the data set is actually a data set with different members of the Ottawa Board of Trade, and those are the members which belong to the arts, culture, and tourism sector. So I discovered that this hotel is part of the Ottawa Board of Trade, but it's actually in New York State, so it cannot be in Ottawa. So I explored the data. There are 53 entries, so it wasn't too hard to do it manually. It's still faster to extract the data and then to spot check it using my Excel spreadsheet and then putting my this window on the side and to compare the data. It's still much faster than typing everything manually. So I checked the data, and then I discovered that the problem was that Ottawa here was imported as the first city, but there was no city for the hotel. Luckily for us, the issue is with the first cell, the first div. So I fixed it by simply moving it down in the next folder here, or the next file. I simply pasted my formula in a lower cell, and it worked out. Another thing I discovered is that with the hotel association, there is no postal code, I believe. So then it made it so that at the very bottom here, the Welcomes in Ottawa does not have a postal code, but there should be one based on this original spreadsheet here. So I decided in my third version to copy and paste the values only. I skipped the Ottawa Gatineau Hotel Association because it doesn't have a postal code in its address, and I pushed it down. A few other things I noticed was that some of those businesses have rather long names, and on this main page here, they were truncated. So if you come here to the Delta Hotels by Marriott City, Ottawa City Center, the address is truncated. So if you were to click on it, though, you would get the full address. So there were only, less than 10 of those businesses. I manually fixed them in my fourth version. Now, in order to get addresses that we can map with Google My Maps, I used the concatenate formula to take the street address, the city, the province, and the postal code, and I created this new column here. In yellow, we see that there are some issues. I highlighted those cells myself. Here we have a double comma before New York because the concatenate formula tells my system to take the street address, to add a comma next to it, a space, then the city, and so on. So I will need to fix that one manually. For Amphibus Lady Dive, we see that the postal code has an hyphen. There is a hyphen, so we'll remove it. Here, next to Brisebois Crescent, we have 2 commas. I fixed that as well. And here for Albert Street, the postal code is lacking a space. And that's the last result. So you're more than welcome to use this data set for Google My Maps. You do not need to replicate every single step, although you're welcome to do so if you wish to experiment. Now that we know that this data set works, it's clean, I double checked it by going back to this page and manually spot checking all of those entries, so we know that it is a reliable data set. I will click on File, Download, CSV, so comma separated values, current sheet only. That's what I will do. It's now downloading, done. I will minimize it, and I will come back to my red light cameras in Ottawa, and we will add a new layer. We could create a new map altogether, but in this case, hey, why not? Let's add this layer. So I'll click on Add Layer, Import. I will select my file, so I will select that CSV, open, and now there will be a window. Now it's asking me, choose columns to position your place marks or your markers. So I want to use the concatenated address for each of those businesses, and then choose a column to title your markers. I'll use business. It's loading, takes a few seconds, and now we have the different businesses that are part of the arts, culture, and tourism sector, which are also members of the Ottawa Board of Trade. I can click on uniform style. I can then make sure that it stays uniform, or I could come and use individual styles. In this case, I will leave it as is. I'll click on all items. I will put them yellow, and I can click here to put little hotel symbols. And that's my map. Same thing, you can then embed it on your website or export it as a KML. And to make sure that we have the right result, in this case, we'll come back to this website. I'll come back up, and I'll click on this map icon here, View on Map. There is already a map which exists, which makes our life easier to compare. And if we were to compare this map to our third layer here, it looks quite similar, right? We have this hotel near the 417 near Limoges. We have a hotel headquartered in Montreal and one on the New York State side near Kingston. And that's pretty much what we have here. So all in all, it looks like we have a reliable data set. And here I would just put members of the Ottawa Board of Trade. And know that there are more than those 53 members. We just used the arts, culture, and tourism sector. So that is how, in a nutshell, you would go about creating a map with multiple layers using Google My Maps.